you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre Maguire and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. Brought to you by TCS Customs and Logistics. Moving pieces, delivering peace of mind. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here on the Sick Podcast Network. I am Jimmy Murphy. My co-host Pierre Maguire is not here. Had to travel down to Massachusetts. His son Ryan McGuire and the Northeastern Huskies are at UMass Lowell tonight. Pierre went down yesterday, saw them beat UMass Lowell at Northeastern 2-0. I want to mention another UMass, by the way. Congratulations to UMass Amherst on their big upset at Boston College, a 3-2 win at BC. They'll try to sweep that weekend series in Amherst tonight. But let's get right to what we're here for right now. The game that everybody has been waiting for, USA and Canada, Saturday night, 8 o'clock at the Bell Center. This city is rocking. I am live where we've been before every game up here in Montreal, McLean's Public House, 1420 Peel Street, downtown Montreal. Not the old McLean's. That is on lower Peel Street. You want to go upper McLean's on the over St. Catherine Street up to 1420 Peel Street. And that's where we'll be here for the next hour or so. But this place is packed. People are enjoying their towers of beers. I just posted a video. It is rocking in here. People are excited. It's just going to get louder and crazier as this night goes on. And I am going to be heading down to the Bell Center right after this. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be exciting. I want to thank Stu Ashton, the owner of McLean's Public House, for having us here. Also, Jägermeister. Remember, McLean's Public House and Jägermeister right now, if you go to both of their Instagram pages, you can see that they are running a contest right now for a Canada Four Nations jersey. And that will be handed out to the winner next Thursday, just prior to the championship game. You go there right now, and the instructions to win the jersey will be there. So go there. Good luck, and I hope you win. But I'll tell you what, my co-host Pierre Maguire, as I said, not here, but I was able to talk to him prior to coming up here to McLean's Public House. So let's go to that interview I did with my co-host about an hour ago from Montreal, and he was in the car on his way to Lowell, Mass. Here's Pierre Maguire and myself. Here with my co-host Pierre Maguire from the Eye Test here, and he's down in Massachusetts on his way to Northeastern at UMass Lowell. Pierre, you are missed here. A lot of people asking for you. What a wonderful week we had at McLean's Public House here at 1420 Peel Street in Montreal.
So grateful to Stu and his staff at McLean's Public House, Jimmy. I had a blast being in my old hometown. It will always be my hometown, and I couldn't be more proud of the fans. I couldn't be more proud of the city. And what a treat to watch that quality of hockey. Whether it was Canada versus Sweden, whether it was USA versus Finland, or even Sweden versus Finland. Just phenomenal hockey, great theater. And the Bell Center is just a spectacular venue to witness international hockey at the level we've watched it at.
It is too, Pierre. And you went down the other day, and congratulations, by the way, to your son Ryan McGuire and the Northeastern Huskies with a good 2-0 victory on home ice against UMass Lowell. And I'd be remiss, Pierre, if I didn't say congratulations to my alma mater, UMass Amherst, for pulling off a whopper of an upset, 3-2 at BC on Friday night. And of course, both teams will switch rinks and have a rematch tonight. But Pierre, I'll tell you the buzz. I got up, I went down to the game day skates. I got back here to downtown, I don't know, probably about 1:30-ish, and was walking around, went off to grab some lunch. And it is, the buzz is unreal right now. Obviously, everybody has been looking forward to this game, USA Canada tonight. You talk to the guys, and everyone's saying they're excited, and people really have been circling this game on the calendar. But Pierre, when you've covered some of these in person, whether it's been at the Olympics, whether it's been at World Juniors, how much do you think this game has a chance to maybe go on par with some of the bigger USA Canadas we've seen in the past?
No chance. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. 33 million Canadians lived in Canada in 2010, and 26 million watched it. You're not getting any close to that tonight. Trust me.
Yeah.
And 36 million Americans watched the gold medal game in 2010. You're not getting 36 million viewers tonight. No chance. That doesn't matter. This is really appropriate. It's really important. I'm really proud of the league. I'm proud of the players. Don't equate numbers to success on this one. This is a tremendous time to be an NHL player. It's a great time to be a fan of the league. It's a great time to be a new fan of the league. But I would never use a comparable on that, Jimmy. Those were different times. And this is a unique tournament. It's 4 teams. It's not 12. It's not 16 from around the world. It's 4. So I think it's going to be an important game, but I don't think it'll even come close to the numbers from other international events that I've been privileged enough to cover.
I'm with you on that. On that note, though, Pierre, I was talking to Austin Matthews earlier today, and I'm going to play those clips later for our listeners. But what I asked him, Pierre, I said, how much does something like this, like a moment like this, a game like this, how much do you believe it is going to help you get through similar moments, whether it's in the Stanley Cup playoffs or down the line in the Olympics? And he said, totally, I'm trying to embrace that and learn from this and really take down the little details on how to prepare, how we've been practicing. And when I get out on the ice, just how to soak it in and live in that moment. And I think it is going to be kind of a good precursor for the Olympics in that respect, Pierre, where, mentally you learn how to get ready and get into these games.
I agree. I think that's a really appropriate question. I thought it was that's well done by you. Austin's been through a lot. He was a 17-year-old kid playing pro hockey in Switzerland in a very, very elite league. He's played in the Men's World Championships. He's obviously been an elite NHL player. The NHL, and you know how I felt about this. I questioned Bill Daly about it. The NHL should have been at the Olympics after 2014. Mm-hmm. It was a terrible mistake. They're going to tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm not. I'm right. They should have been at 2018. They should have been at 2022. I know they're going to say COVID was an issue. That's a bunch of bunk. There was no COVID in 2018. I know why they didn't go. They know why they didn't go. We'll leave it at that. But this is a great precursor to what's going to happen in the playoffs this year. It's going to be a great precursor to what's going to happen next year in Milan and Cortina in the Olympics, which is huge. And the NHL's got a chance in the world of professional hockey. Jimmy has a chance to be on par with all the great global leagues. They do. But we got to put our players out there. And this is the first time we've done that in a long time, since 2016. And I don't even count 2016, Jimmy, if you want to know the truth. The last time we did it was 2014. And that, with all due respect to the decision makers at the NHL and the ownership groups, and I know they're going to be mad at me, I apologize in advance. They made the mistake. Nobody else did. They made the mistake.
Well, let's look at this game coming up here tonight, USA versus Canada, and kind of break it down a bit here. And one mistake that you and I agree maybe Canada made when they're putting together this lineup, specifically for a game like this against USA, when they have to go up against the Tkachuk brothers on the same line, was not including a player like Tom Wilson on their roster. I spoke off the record to a couple players about that, and they actually agreed with you as well. They said, yeah, he would definitely help in this game. When you look at the roster they have, though, is there a player that comes to mind that you think can match the pain and what type play that they're going to get from the Tkachuks?
Yeah, Sammy Bennett, for sure. 100%. And Sam will do a good job. Everybody's saying, will he go after, Matthew Tkachuk, or will he go after Brady Tkachuk? He's equal opportunity. He might go after both. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I would say that the way you phrase that question, I think, is really appropriate. You know what I thought before the tournament started. I said it the day the team selected the players. I was shocked there were 2 Canadian players that weren't on that team. One was Mark Scheifele of the Winnipeg Jets, and the other one was Tommy Wilson of the Washington Capitals. I was absolutely stupefied that neither one of those players were a part of it, let alone both players. Now, do I think Canada's picked a good roster? I do. But do I think the roster could have been better? I do. I think the roster could have been better.
I'm with you on that. And I've heard some fellow media folks, I won't say names, start to say that Wilson should be there. Well, I don't know. Maybe they were listening to us the other day. But Pierre, there's some news, though, big news, and this could really affect the game. Head coach John Cooper, before the game, right after the game day skate today, did confirm Jordan Binnington will be back in. However, when asked about Cal McGuire, who has been battling an illness, he refused to commit to that. He said, I can't tell you that right now. He is strictly a game time decision. And then somebody said, well, wouldn't McGuire at like 80% still be great and good to go? And he said, look, I think McGuire at 60% would be great to go, but I am not putting him at that risk. If he's not 100% in the eyes of our doctors and in his own eyes, we're not putting him out there. If he's not out there and Harley has to come in, Pierre, how much does that alter Canada's game plan?
I mean, no disrespect to John Cooper. Team Canada doctors got nothing to do with this. This is about the Colorado Avalanche. With all
I thought the same thing when he said that.
I'm like, really? No chance. So this comes down to Colorado's people being in touch with Team Canada, with Cale. The other part too, and I think this is important, people forget about this. You're in a confined area when you're in a bench area. And if it's any kind of flu or highly contagious, virus, you don't want them around the team anyway. So you got to be really careful about that in a short tournament. So I don't know, what Cale has or doesn't have. What I do know is he's an elite player like everybody else knows. And if he can't go, Thomas Harley gets an opportunity to play. Thomas Harley's a really good player. He is. He's a very, very competent player. Do I think it's going to be easier for Canada because of that? No, I don't. I don't think it'll be easier for Canada at all.
Yep, I'm with you on that. All right, Pierre, before we let you go here, and I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got to get to the game, but I want to talk about an interesting topic. Was brought up to head coach Mike Sullivan, the USA head coach, and obviously Pittsburgh Penguins head coach. And I hadn't heard anyone really discuss this yet, and it was great that it got brought up. And he said he'd kind of been waiting for this question. And that was, have you thought about what it's going to be like to coach against Sidney Crosby when you've been with him for so long now as a coach of the Penguins? You guys have won 2 Stanley Cups together, obviously have formed an amazing relationship. And this is what he had to say about that.
You're going against Sidney tonight. A, I'm assuming your familiarity with him will completely mark him out of the game. But B, what will it be like for you to coach against him for the first time?
I certainly wish that was the case. With your first comment, I don't know what it's going to be like, to be honest with you, because I haven't experienced that in a long time. And obviously, Sid and I have been through a lot together in Pittsburgh. We've built a great relationship over the time that we've been together. I can't tell you, how much respect I have for Sid, first and foremost as a person, as a human being, but also as a hockey player. I mean, he's a fierce competitor, and that's well chronicled. But he's a great person, and I always wish the very best for him. Having said that, tonight, and we laughed about this before we were coming here, that when you're on opposite sides, I know how badly he wants to win, and I think he feels the same on our side. So we're going to do everything we can to win the hockey game. I know he's going to do the same. I think it's going to make for exciting hockey. It's this isn't anything that we've been through ever, for that matter, since we've been working together in Pittsburgh. So I can't really tell you what it's going to be like. That'd probably be a better question after the game.
Okay, Pierre, first of all, I love the praise that he gave Sid. And it's, no matter, anytime you bring up Sidney Crosby and people ask about him, even if the question is specifically about hockey, I've always noticed that still they always throw in there what a wonderful human being he is. And you know that as well. But my question to you is, when you have a coach going up against a player he knows so well like that, or a player going against his own coach in the NHL, who do you think has the advantage in terms of game planning?
The coach.
That's
player doesn't draw up the game plan. The coach does. That being said, Mike was selling himself short. Mike coached in the NHL as an assistant with John Tortorella in Tampa. Mm-hmm. Mike coached as an assistant with the New York Rangers to John Tortorella when Sid was in the league. And so Mike was in Chicago when Sidney was playing in Pittsburgh, not as a coach, but as a personnel person. So Mike knows a lot about Sidney. Mike knows more about Sidney than maybe Sidney knows about Mike.
Right.
So Mike answered that really well. That's a really difficult question. What I think of Sidney. I mean, I've been defamed. I can say that with a clear conscience because of my respect for Sidney Crosby and prognosticating when he was 20, maybe he was 18 to 20 how great he was going to be, and people just savaged me. I don't care. Tell you the truth. And where are all those people now? Gutless people. Sidney's a special player. He's an awesome human being. He's spectacular beyond belief. Mike Sullivan's an elite coach. He's not a little bit good. He's really good. Mike has an advantage. Mike has a distinct advantage, but that doesn't mean anything. Sidney's surrounded by amazing players. Yeah. Watch the plays that Sidney makes to those spectacular players in Game 1 against Sweden. 3 assists, and all of them are really elite plays. Sidney's a special player. He always will be to the day he retires. It's a lot like Mario. It's a lot like Wayne. It's a lot like what Messi was like. It's a lot like what Forsberg was like. Special players, just really, really special. I really like the way Mike handled himself there. That's a very difficult question. Very, very difficult question.
I'm with you on that. Quickly before we leave that topic, you mentioned Gretzky, you mentioned Mario. Look, we've seen in the past, Pierre, where sometimes some of the greatest players don't necessarily equate to great coaches, right? When you know Sid so well, could you ever see coaching in his future?
No. I could see general managing.
Okay.
It's a lot like Christopher Pronger. Mark Recchi. I see guys like that. They're hockey addicts. They're lifers. Right. They can't get it out of their system. They understand so much about it. They understand collective bargaining. They understand negotiation. They understand the importance of team building. They get how to build successful teams because they've all won. There's certain players that just get managing and get players. Not everybody does, but a lot of them do. The most difficult part for hockey going forward is how hard a job it is, how many hours a day you're away from your family. And most of the guys that played for a long time, they've already experienced that. I don't know if they're in the mood to want to do that anymore. Yeah. It's really – I talked to a really high-level hockey person this morning. It's Saturday today, Jimmy. And he was saying to me, he goes, I can't believe, you still want to do this. I go, it's not because I don't love my family. It's not that I don't love my wife or my kids. It's just, it makes me happy every day. And I think I'm a better husband and a better parent because I'm happy every day. And I think that there's some people that are really want to do it, and there are others that just don't want to do it as much.
I'm with you on that, Pierre. The feeling's mutual, and I see it every day with you being your partner, and I'm appreciative that I can be your partner. All right, let's get to this game right now. Pierre, just give me, if you can, off the top of your head, not to put you right on the spot, but give me one key for Canada heading in and one key for U.S.
Key for Canada is going to be spend less time in your own zone. Be attacking rather than defending. Really important thing for Team USA. Be physical without taking penalties. If they are physical and they don't take penalties, they have a significant advantage. If they are physical and take penalties, they will get blown right out of the gym. They will get crushed because the Canada power play is way too strong. But for Canada, if you spend too much time in your own zone, you're going to be receiving rather than attacking. That's going to be a big problem for you.
I agree with all that. And I'll add one more thing for USA, Pierre. I think, we watched the beginning of that game the other night against Finland. They did not have a great start. They had a much better second period and even much better third period. But if they want, I think just with the environment, the magnitude of it and how loud it's going to be in there, it's going to be key for them to really come out and kind of hopefully silence that crowd a bit, or at least keep it a little calmer than maybe we're going to see at the beginning. So we'll see what happens with that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. The one thing I'll say, Jimmy, most of the players that are playing at this level anyways, going back to when they were probably playing major junior hockey or playing college hockey, they've experienced pretty significant crowd noise. I don't think, after the first 5 to 7 minutes, that's really an issue. I think before that, the first 5 to 7 minutes, maybe, but after that, it's just a game. The crowd really, it doesn't really play a role in that after the first 5 to 7 minutes.
I'm with you. And I will say, though, Pierre, I'll never forget it. I believe it was back in 2008 when the Bruins were starting to really turn things around. They had that 7-game series against the Canadians. They ended up losing that game 7-5-0, but they had come back from a 3-1 deficit. And I remember before game 1, I'll never forget, I'm talking to Sean Thornton after the game day skate, and I said, this place is going to be rocking. It's arguably the loudest place in the league. what do you tell the guys that haven't been in this situation before, that aren't used to it? You've played for a Stanley Cup. You know what this situation can be like. And he said, look, you're either going to go out there and you're going to pee your pants, or you're going to play the best game of your life. So I tell them, do the latter, embrace that noise, embrace the hate, and utilize it to get yourself going. So we'll see if USA can do that. By the way, Pierre, as we're recording this right now, Finland with a big upset over Sweden to stay alive in this tournament. They beat him 4-3 in overtime. So congratulations to them. That means their game against Canada on Monday will have meaning. They are still alive in this tournament. So congratulations to them.
I sent a bunch of text messages out to people I really respect in the league. And that's the one thing I wrote to all of them before, because I heard a lot of negative energy towards the Finns. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you don't understand how tough these people are. Yeah. You don't understand how focused they are. You don't understand how much importance is put into the hockey programs in Finland. It is a massive entity in their country. And I've always, from the first time I ever went there, I've always had this unbelievable passion to study Finnish hockey. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that makes it very unique, the country's about the size of the province of Quebec. And I don't think Quebec could put a team together that could play at this level. But the Finns can find a way to do that, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, I remember we were talking as that game was beginning the other night when we stuck around at McLean's Public House and enjoyed their amazing burgers. Highly suggested, 1420 Peel Street. Come on down and have one. And I remember you just saying it's like that mentality they have. I mean, they are just such a resilient culture. It's not just in the hockey. It's from the culture, and it translates onto the ice. And once again, that resilience shown through, and they are headed to Monday. They're still alive, so good for them. Hey, Pierre, listen, you enjoy the games tonight, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. We'll be back at West End Johnny's, 138 Portland Street in Boston. There'll be a 1 o'clock game, and then we'll tee up the second game there, 6 to 7 p.m. And again, we'll be there that Thursday for the championship game. So we urge everybody, if you're going down or you're in the Boston area, come on by. And Pierre, I will tell you off the air later on, but we are close to confirming a pretty big guest to join us there, West End Johnny's. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, if it happens. Yeah, Jimmy, we're going to have another guest I already booked without telling you. We had Doug Christensen, the commissioner and CEO of the ECAC Hockey League, coming in. So I talked to Commissioner Christensen this morning, and he will be there for 4 days. He's involved with a lot of stuff with the NHL, and really excited. He's already been a guest on our show, and he was really excited to join us again on Monday. And obviously, I think I know who the guest is that you're speaking about. It'll be a perfect segue. We'll start with Doug, and then we'll move into that guest, who's pretty substantial, and hopefully it works out.
All right. Sounds good. Safe travels, my friend. I will see you Monday.
I can't wait. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Jimmy. I'll be watching the late game tonight. And congrats to the Finns.
All right. Sounds good.
Swole me.
My co-host, Pierre Maguire, joining me here on the eye test remotely. And it really always a pleasure talking to him. And now we will get back to the live version of this show, live from McLean's Public House, 1420 Peel Street in Montreal. And there you go. That was our interview with Pierre Maguire earlier as he was on his way to UMass Lowell for the Northeastern UMass Lowell game. And, one thing I didn't bring up there, we were talking a bit about the Kachucks and, how aggravating they can be and the role they'll play too. Another thing that was interesting, I don't have the clip here, but we do have one clip on the Kachucks. But another thing I want to point out too is another guy that I think that the Americans might try and rile and get under the skin of is Jordan Binnington. We know sometimes he lets his emotions get the best of him. It'll be interesting to see how much they try to rattle him early on and get him off his game. But earlier today, when I was at that game day skate, after the skate, USA forward Austin Matthews spoke about the Kachucks. Let's go to that clip right now.
Cool. That's pretty fun. And I'm sure they're enjoying it just as much or more than anybody could imagine. So it's been pretty cool to see them, kind of mesh there in that second, third period. And obviously, both their playing styles are pretty similar. But, it's the way they play the game. They make it difficult on you. And so I know I saw Zach said, it's already annoying playing against one of them. I can imagine the both of them on the same line. So it's I thought that quote was pretty perfect for just the way those two guys compete and play. It's been fun to see.
So there you go. He's talking about it. He knows that they're going to be a key to the American game tonight against Canada in that Bell Center too. And like I said to Pierre too, another thing I think will be having a huge start there, as I referenced that comment that Sean Thornton made to me, which is now many moons ago. Geez, cannot believe that was 17 years ago. I'm getting old. But yeah, that was, he used, I'll put it this way, he used a little more colorful language than I told Pierre there, but it's true. I mean, it's playoff games, and now this is going to be even on another level, just with everything that's going on with this tournament and also in the political climate right now. I don't care what the players are saying or the coaches. They can say all they want. They're not paying attention to that, and then it's not going to play a role. But I can tell you right now, a lot of people are paying attention to it in this city. A lot of fans are paying attention to it. And regardless of what side of politics you lean on, I don't think that a lot of Canadians right now are liking the fact that the President of the United States is threatening to annex their country and make them a part of the United States. That matters right now, especially when the two countries are going to go head-to-head in an international hockey tournament. In the middle of all that, it means more than hockey tonight, and you're going to feel that. You're going to know that right away if you're going to the game or if you're watching on TV. I'm telling you, that place is going to be rocking. So I think the key, like I said to Pierre, they got to come out. And I think if the Americans are to win this game, they need to come out of the first period tied. They cannot be losing, even if it's 1-0. Usually I say, well, maybe you get out of there 1-0. No, you need to get out of this period tied, whether that's 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, what have you. You need it to at least be tied if you're going to have a chance to win this game here in what is going to be a rocking, hostile environment at the Bell Center. And these are some of the moments where, NHL players, as Pierre and I discussed, and I brought it up, where players are defined and their careers get defined. These are the moments they draw on, and they look back and they say, that's when I became clutch. And I asked Austin Matthews about that right now and what this means, not only just for tonight, but going forward in his NHL career. Let's go to that clip.
Biggest game of your life?
I mean, I think I played in some pretty big games, obviously Game 7s and stuff like that. But I mean, I just think with the history, this is my first opportunity playing in a game, USA versus Canada at this level. So I mean, it's definitely up there.
How much does a moment like this help you in terms of developing more as a player, preparing for bigger moments down the road?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just everything that goes into it. You just want to embrace it. You want to go out there and just compete, have fun. I mean, these are the moments that I think you dream about and you think about as a kid growing up. Being able to represent your country is obviously very special, and this rivalry goes back a long time. So just making the most of it, having fun, and going out there and just competing.
All right, so there you go, and he agrees. This is one of those moments. I mean, yeah, he's been to some Game 7s, right? But unfortunately for the Leafs and Austin Matthews, they've come up short in those situations. And look, as my co-host Pierre Maguire has said throughout the season on the eye test here on the Sick Podcast Network, he does believe this is going to be the year where they at least get to the conference final and Matthews and the Leafs start to really know how to win in the playoffs. So we'll see if Austin can carry what he learns in this game and in this tournament back to the NHL season and down the stretch run and into the playoffs. We'll see if they can do that. Hey, again, I want to remind everybody we are live here at McLean's Public House, 1420 Peel Street, downtown Montreal, not the old McLean's. We're at the new McLean's. I remember the other night when NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly and his posse came over, they mistakenly went to the other McLean's. Thankfully, they sent them up here. And, man, I want to thank Bill Daly and Jamie Horan and their whole crew for coming by. It was great, really great interview. I urge you to check it out. You can go on our YouTube page there, any podcast platform, and check that out. Bill had a lot of good things to say, a lot of interesting points about international play and about the league going forward. So I urge you to check that out. But again, 1420 Peel Street, McLean's Public House right now. And as I said, if you go, you can check out my Twitter feed, which is at Murphy's Law 74, or you can go to the Instagram page for me, which is at Murphy's Law 0712. Or you can go to McLean's Public House Instagram page, and they are running a great prize thing, right? A prize contest right now. You have to tell the significance of the number 56 to the history of McLean's Pub. All right, there's McLean's Pub, which has been there since 1995, or maybe even, I think it might be 93, down the street on Peel Street. And then this one that I'm sitting in right now Amazing place. Been here just since 2023. November of 2023, if I'm correct. So anyhow, you got to tell the significance of the number 56 to McLean's, and you will be entered to win that amazing Four Nations Face-Off Canada jersey. All right, let's talk to you right now about our other sponsors. Let's go right over to TCS Customs and Logistics. If you go right now, you can unlock the full potential of your shipping operation with TCS Customs and Logistics. From around the corner to around the world. TCS flatbeds to air freight, customs clearance to drawback consulting. TCS is a one-stop shop for all things transport. Moving pieces, they're getting rowdy in here. Moving pieces and delivering a peace of mind for no obligation customs or freight. Quote, contact sickpodcast at shiptcs.com. Again, that is sickpodcast at shiptcs.com. All right, let's go on over to our other sponsor, Betway. You can go right now, go all the way with Betway and get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Scan the QR code right in front of you if you're watching right now. Or if you want, you can go to the website right now and go to the details section to sign up for a new account, and you will get this amazing welcome offer. If you bet up to $200 and your first bet loses, you still get credit. All right, so you can lose and still make money. Only at Betway. I love it. And I wish I could do it, but I'm based in the United States. But anyhow, as well, this new offer is not available in Ontario. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Let's go to our sick pick of the night for USA Canada.
It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by Betway.
All right, you go right now over to Betway, and it's pretty much a pick 'em at this point. Yes, exactly, and even. Both teams on the money line are minus 110. You got Canada coming in on the minus 1.5 puck line at plus 230. That's some amazing value if they were able to get an empty netter or pull away. And then U.S. is plus 1.5, is at minus 285. The over-under is 6.5. All the games have been going over so far. Look, I think this is going to be an exciting game. Here's what I'm going to say. I like Canada to win this game on the money line. All right, so minus 110 value. I also like the game to go to overtime. That's right. We're going to OT here. It's going to be amazing. It'll be the second time Canada's gone to OT if it happens in this series, in this Four Nations face-off. I'm feeling OT, and I think Canada ends up winning it in OT, and I got an anytime goal scorer for you, and it's going to be one Matthew Tkachuk, who right now you can get to score a goal. He's at an anytime goal, will get you plus 200 I'm looking at right now. Again, that's, excuse me, no, it just went up right as I'm speaking. Wow, things are changing a lot in the odds here right now. And actually, Canada is a slight favorite now at minus 105. I still like him to win. Give me Matthew Tkachuk to score a goal at plus 275. And I'll stake on the American side. I'm going to go with Austin Matthews. He seemed pretty dialed in today. Give me him to score an anytime goal at plus 180. All right, what do we got in the Q&A here on a game night here, Saturday night at the Bell Center? USA Canada, one of the biggest games here in a long time. Jason Logan, my good friend Jason, and man, it was great to see you, Jason, and the family too. Next time I will meet Sid. If McGuire does not play, it's going to be a big loss. Jason, that is an understatement. I'll go back, and you can find it on our YouTube page and our archives. If you go back to the interview we had, I believe it was the beginning of the season, we had Scotty Bowman on. We've had him on a couple times. And by the way, Scotty, if you're listening or watching right now, I wish you were here, my friend. You'd really like it. There's been a lot of NHL alumni. I had some folks. I don't know if they want their names being seen publicly. I'll let you know anyhow next time I text you or talk to you. But people are asking me to say hello to you. And Pierre, by the way, if you're listening too, a lot of people, a lot of fans coming up asking where you are, wanted me to pass along that they say hello and they hope to see you next time we are in Montreal. But I go back to Scotty Bowman, Jay, literally comparing Cal McGuire to number 4, Bobby Orr, the greatest defenseman, arguably some would say the greatest player. He's at least in the top 3 to ever live, to ever lace him up. That is high praise. So that shows you just how much it is. Now, as Pierre referenced in that interview, it sounds like it's an illness. We don't know And Pierre made a good point. Do you really want to risk it if you put him on the bench in the close confines there? You're pouring sweat, all the germs that could go around on that bench. You don't want to take a chance where it spreads like wildfire. But we'll see what happens. I find it hard to believe that he's going to miss the game, but John Cooper was very careful not to confirm that he would be in. So we'll see what happens going forward with that. All right, what do we got for the next question? David Robinson, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well in Portugal. How is Urho Vakanainen, who is playing in this Four Nations face-off with Finland, who beat Sweden today? How has he developed since the Bruins? I was optimistic about his career back then. David, I'll tell you, unfortunately, he hasn't really, because he's always hurt. And I feel really bad for the kid. I remember him when he first came into the league. I was like you. I had high hopes for him. He's a really nice kid, works hard, but he's just been hampered by injuries all his career. I know he played for our good friend Greg Cronin in Anaheim before being traded to the Rangers this season. I hope he can find it and get it together. He's looked good in this tournament so far, so best to him going forward. All right, what's our next question? Jason Logan again. What are your thoughts on Sam Bennett joining Team Canada and Travis Konechny being the one to sit out? I think, as Pierre said there, they're putting Bennett in to be a pain in the you-know-what, Jay. Just be part of that Kachuk line. That is going to be a thorn in the side for the Canadians. That's what the Americans are hoping there. So I get it. And look, the best thing about all these players, regardless of their star status, one thing I've noticed, and I did it the other day when I was in the locker room after the game day skates, and I noticed it again today, nobody's sulking when they're getting a healthy scratch. Nobody's pissed off. They get it. You got to just do what's right for the matchup. You know, I reckon back to when we were talking the other day, I think it was the first day we were here, and we referenced Herb Brooks and how he handled the miracle game, in the 1980 Olympics. It was last week before the Bean Pop. We had Mike Eruzione, and it wasn't necessarily always about skill. You wanted to have the right people, the right fit, the right pieces to the puzzle. So sometimes a star player is going to get sat down, and Travis Konechny is that guy today. But I'll tell you what, I think Sam Bennett is the guy that's going to try and counter the Kachucks for Canada, and we'll see how it works. All right, next question. And we got Bilal Abdelmalik. I hope I pronounced the name right. I think I've been doing okay. This is our final question. Jimmy, when are you and Pierre coming to Oshawa? Remember, the tab is on me. I don't know, Bilal. After another trip in Montreal, it might be a while before I rack up a tab. Got to give the old body a break here, but I appreciate it. And we will make sure that we can try and do that in the future. Maybe we'll broadcast before an Oshawa Generals game. Remind us, all right? We're looking to do a lot of remotes. What we're trying to do is get a sponsor behind us to talk about going around doing these remotes all over. I mean, we've got game. We will travel. For any interested sponsors out there, don't forget to get in touch with me, and I'll pass it along to our good folks at the Sick Podcast Network, who, by the way, I want to thank for doing an amazing job. One of our main guys there at Sick Podcast Network, and Yellow, came down the other day, really helped us fix the sound here, which was probably my fault, and my jinx that I have on audio called Murphy's Law. It applies to audio with me and technology, unfortunately. You can just ask my laptop history. But anyhow, big thanks to them and Sammy and the whole crew, Shane, everybody there. Thank you for all your help this week and for all the remotes we're doing at West End Johnny's. And speaking of West End Johnny's, we will be back there Monday. Now, I am actually going to be stuck up here because of the storm, because I'm sticking around for the game tonight. I will not be able to get back to Boston tomorrow. It's like two storms colliding. There's a separate storm that's hitting the Boston area, southern New Hampshire, where I live, and then down south to Rhode Island. That's going to hit at about 2 a.m. this morning. Maybe even, I think it's starting. No, actually, it's going to be like sleet for everybody there right now. Be careful. It's going to be sleet tonight, become snow. And that is, as it intensifies here in Montreal in the early morning hours, it will clear up and switch to rain in Boston. So it's just not good driving conditions. So I want to thank our wonderful friends there, Louis, over at the Holiday Inn Hotel and Suites on Rene Levesque, 1390. You come to Montreal, I want to tell everybody this by far, and I've stayed at plenty of places in Montreal because I've been coming here for so long. That is by far my most favorite hotel in Montreal. The staff is amazing. If you go there soon, Laura at the front desk, thank you for your help. She's amazing. Just all together, a great crew there. The beds are comfortable. It's a great location. I walk out, I take a right, and then I take my next right, and I'm down one block. I'm at the Bell Center. So I'll be going over there soon, dropping off our studio equipment there, and then trekking on down to the Bell Center for the game tonight. So thanks to Holiday Inn Hotels and Suites, 1390 Rene Levesque. And, of course, I want to thank everybody here at McLean's Public House, Stu Ashton, Emily Varda, Brian Murphy, my fellow Murph, and the rest of the crew at Judy, everybody here. And it was great to see all my McLean's crew. And now, as I said, I'll be going home Monday. I'm going to be racing down Monday morning, hopefully make it by the 1 o'clock puck drop at TD Garden for the first game, which will be Finland-Canada. Finland needs at least a point. If Canada wins tonight, Finland needs at least a point to stay alive in the tournament. And then, of course, USA and Sweden will play later that night. But before that game, 6 to 7 p.m., I will be live with my good co-host, Pierre Maguire. As Pierre said, we'll be at the wonderful West End Johnny's on 138 Portland Street. Really excited about the relationship we formed with them. Yeah, I'm telling you, in terms of hospitality, it's just like McLean's here. Stu Ashton, the owner here. Johnny Caron is the same way down at West End Johnny's. We love him. And as I said, it's like a sports museum with the memorabilia they have. So I urge you to come there pregame, 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday. And we will have Eric Christensen, the commissioner of the ECAC, join us. And as you heard in that interview with Pierre, very likely a very big NHL guest. And I'll give you a hint. He's a player, not playing in his tournament, but he is an NHL player. We're hoping to have him join us on the eye test there at West End Johnny's, 138 Portland Street. And we will be there again on Thursday, same time, 6 to 7 p.m., right before the championship game. And, of course, you can find us here on YouTube, and you can hear us afterwards on all your podcast platforms. I want to thank everyone in the Q&A section for your questions there. And also, thank you to everyone who listens later on the podcast platforms. Listen, no matter who you're cheering for, no matter what your politics are, just enjoy this hockey game tonight because it is some great hockey. Best on best. I know I agree with Pierre. Russia's not here. Czech's not here. But listen, it's going to be a hell of a game tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. So I want to thank everyone here in Montreal. Thank you, the listeners and the viewers. This has been another edition of the Eye Test here on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre Maguire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.